Upamanyu Maharshi says, he saw the illustrious Mahadeva, Sakshat Mahadeva, Devadeva, Bhagavan, Sahomaya, Saha Umaya is Sahomaya. We should know to split the words and then try to understand the meaning. So here it says Devadeva Sahomaya. So what does Sahomaya mean? So you have to split that. Saha plus Umaya, Sahomaya. So he was there with Para Shakti, Sakshat Uma. Umaya Sahadevesha, Umaya Sahadevesha Nandivahanamuchyate Basmalepana Sarvangam Ekabilvam Shivarpanam. He is eternally with Uma. Para Shakti. Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabham Trilochanam Neelakantam Prashantam. Himavad Giri Kanyakaha Saha Ambikaya Eshate Rudrabhagaha. He is eternally with Para Shakti, that is Uma or Ambika, that Himavad Giri Kanyaka, he doesn't. He is eternally with her. And it is described that his energy is described here. The fire born of his energy resembled the effulgence, the lightning that flashes amid the clouds. So it was like, this is a very important point. I'll stay here for a while. Very, very important point to be noted here. So this description of Lord Shiva and Parashakti is also described in the Vedas, and that's how he experiences. So when he saw that Parashakti and Paramashiva on the bull, it was like the lightning that came in the midst of the clouds. Neelato yada madhyastad vidyulleke vabasvara nivara shukavattan vibitava asvatyanupama. Suktam Mahanarayana Upanishad says this. Neelato yada madhyastad vidyulleke vabasvara. When so Parashakti is described as blue, she is sometimes described as blue or white or dark or green in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. The Matsya Puranam describes her that her complexion is compared to that of blue lotus. So when the blue lotus, when Parashakti, who has a blue lotus complexion, was seen with the white complexioned Paramashiva, how was it? It was like experiencing the lightning. The lightning is white in color. In the midst of the clouds. What is the color of the clouds? Blue in color. So it was like seeing the lightning in the midst of the clouds. And that's what it comes in the Mahanarayana Upanishad. Neelato yada madhyastad vidyullekeva bhasvara nivara shukavattanvi pitava asvatyanopama. And this is also told in the Linga Mahapuranam, 1st canto, 72nd chapter, 90th verse. When the demigods, when the devatas were worshipping Mahadeva, because Tripurasura was giving a lot of trouble, and they were chanting intensely Shatarudriyam for getting boons from Mahadeva, for having the Mahadeva darshanam and then requesting him to kill the Tripurasuras. So at that time also Parashakti and Paramashiva come in the bull, and then the Linga Puranam, 1st canto, 72nd chapter, 90th verse describes Ata vibhati vibor vishadam vapur basita basitam ambikayat saha Sitamiva Brahmaho Iha Vidyuta Nabasi Devapate Parameshtinaha. It is just like when Parashakti and Paramashiva are there, when the blue complexioned Parashakti is with the white complexioned Paramashiva on the bull. It is like seeing the lightning, the white lightning in the midst of the clouds. Neelato yada madhyastad vidyulleke vabasvara. This line should be remembered. This comes in the Upanishads. Neelato yada madhyastad vidyulleke vabasvara. Neelato yada madhyastad. In the midst of the clouds. Vidyulleke vabasvara, the lightning. So that is how Parashakti and Paramashiva are present in the heart. And he was experiencing that Parashakti and Paramashiva, who is the Antaryami of everybody, in front of him. That's what Upamanyu Maharshi. So this Upanishad, so where Narayana is the meditator, Dhyata. Dhyata means actually the meditator, and Dhyaya means the meditated. So he is meditating on Parashakti and Paramashiva. So first it describes, initially it glorifies the divine attributes of that Parashakti and Paramashiva. So Narayana is meditating on that Parashakti and Paramashiva, and it goes on to describe the heart of Narayana. Tasya hridayam bhoja madhye padmakosha pratikashagam hridayam chapyadomukam. He is present in the heart of all the living entities and including in the hearts of Brahma and Narayana. Ado nishtya vidasyante nabhyam uparitishthati. Nishtya means the larynx, that is the neck. Nishtya vidasyante nabhyam uparitishthati. Above the navel, below the neck and above the navel. He is present below the neck and above the navel. How is he present? Jwalamala kulambati vishwasyayatanam mahat. Jwalamala. He appeared as Jwalagni, Agni Stamba, to crush the ego of Brahma and Narayana. Jwalagni, Agni Stambam, the effulgence that was coming out of the Agni Stamba was not, Brahma and Narayana were not able to withstand that. So he is present in that way inside the heart. Inside the heart, he is also present inside the heart of all the living entities. Hrida. So it is describing the heart of Narayana. Jwalamala, Santatakam Shilavistu Lambatya Kosha Sannipam. And then Tasya Madhye Vanhishika Aniyo Ordva Vyavastitaha. So in the middle of that flame, that's how in that middle of the flame it's described. So initially the Arupatva, the Arupa aspect, the Sarvatvam of Mahadeva is described initially, and then within that Jyoti, within that Ananta Jyoti, Mahadeva is present with a divine form. Nilato yada madhyastad vidyulleke babasvara nivara shukavattanvi pitaba asvatyanupama tasya ashikaya madhye parama atma vyavastitah sabrahma sashiva saharisendra soksharak paramakswarat hridagam satyam param brahma purusham krishna pingalam urdvaretam virupaksham vishvarupam namamyaham. That's what it says. Nilato yada madhyastat vidyullekeva bhasvara. It's like when experiencing Para Shakti and Parama Shiva, it is like seeing the lightning, the white lightning in the midst of the blue clouds. Nivara shukavattanvi pitaba asvatyanopama tasya ashikaya madhye parama atma vyavastitaha. Paramatma, the supreme soul resides there, within the middle of the flame. Sabrahma sashiva saharisendra soksharak paramakswarat. He is Swarat, independent. It's completely independent. He is the creator of Brahma, Narayana, Rudra and Indra. And who is that personality? How is he described? Hridagam satyam param brahma purusham krishna pingalam urdvaretam virupaksham vishvarupam namamyaham. He is righteousness personified. He is truth personified. And then Param Brahma, he is the supreme. Paratparam, Brahma means the supreme absolute truth. Krishna Pingalam, very specific epithet used for Lord Shiva in the Puranas and everywhere. Bhasma Jabala Upanishad, Brihat Jabala Upanishad, everywhere it is used. Urdhvaretam, again a specific epithet used for Lord Shiva. Virupaksham, he is three-eyed. Sabhahyabhyantarakshujihi. By just Yaksmared by Virupaksham Sabhahyabhyantarakshujihi. Karanagamam, 3rd chapter, 12th verse. By meditating on that Virupaksha, the three-eyed Mahadeva, one gets cleaned of all the sins. Virupaksham Vishwarupayavai Namo Namaha. Virupebhyo Vishwarupebhyascha vo Namo Namo Mahadvyah Chullakebhyascha vo Namo Namo Ratibhyo Ratebhyascha vo Namo Namo. Rudram says, Virupebhyo, Vishwarupebhyo, these names are specifically Mahadeva. So, initially that Anantatva is described, that infiniteness of Mahadeva is described, and then he is glorified with a beautiful form, divine form. That's why, until one meditates on the form of Mahadeva, one will not get Purna Jnana. We see that in the story of Vishnu applying the Bhasma, and he meditates on a Jyoti, and then he is not able to, he doesn't attain the Purna Jnana. Mahadeva says, you have not attained the true knowledge. You have not attained the complete knowledge, O Vishnu. So do Bhasma Snanam and apply Bhasma. And do Bhasma Snanam, bathe with the Bhasma and eat the Bhasma. And then he meditates in his heart. And then he sees the divine form of Mahadeva. And then he falls at his feet. Sharanam Namastestu Namastestu Nashakyam Bhasmano Jane Prabhavam Va Kutastava Namastestu Namastestu Tvameva Sharanam Gataha. I surrender to you. When I cannot even understand the glories of the sacred ash, how can I even understand your glories, O Mahadeva? So, Namastestu, Namastestu. So, I surrender to you, I offer obeisances to you. Tvameva sharanam gataha, I surrender to you, O Mahadeva. And then Kaivalya Upanishad, Kritpundarikam Virajam Vishuddham Vichintya Madhye Vishadam Vishokam Achintyam Avyaktam Anantarupam. Initially, the personality who is described as infinite is described. So, the infiniteness of that supreme reality is described. And then it goes on to say, who is that personality, who is that infinite, who is infinite and who is Ananta? Uma Sahayam Parameshwaram Prabhu. Mahadeva is that personality who is infinite. We cannot claim, Brahma cannot claim, Vishnu cannot claim infiniteness. So, that's how we have to, that's how this should be understood. So that I wanted to go in detail because there is a Vedantic import. So when describing the lightning, we see the lightning, we cannot, of course we don't see the lightning with the eyes, but the lightning is white in color that comes in the midst of the clouds, and that is how Upamanyu Maharshi experiences. It's like actually when seeing Para Shakti and Parama Shiva in front of me, oh Krishna, it was like seeing the white lightning in the midst of the blue clouds, oh Krishna, because he is sharing this with Krishna, and that is what is told. Nilato yata madhyastat vidyulleke babasvara nivarashokavatanvi pitaba asvatyanupama. Narayana meditates in his Hridaya on Para Shakti and Parama Shiva. Hridagam satyam param brahma purusham krishna pingalam urdvaretam virupaksham vishwarupam namamyaham. Krishna pingala, very very specific epithet used in the Vedas, Upanishads for Lord Shiva alone. And the Puranas use this word very alternatively, very very specifically to Lord Shiva. And it comes, where actually the personality to be meditated in the heart is actually this personality who is identified as Urdhvareta, Virupaksha, Param Brahma, Krishna Pingala, who is righteousness personified, Hridagam, Satyam, who is truth personified. So that is Para Shakti and Parama Shiva. Krishna Pingala, Krishna means dark. So Para Shakti is sometimes, described as dark in color. And Pingala means that yellow or golden. Mahadeva is golden. So Krishna Pingala Yanamaha Ardhanari. Interestingly, Bhattabhaskara and Sayanacharya have interpreted this Krishna Pingala as Uma Maheshwara Dhyanam. Dark in complexion, Para Shakti and then Parama Shiva. So Uma Maheshwara Dhyanam. That's how they have interpreted. And many acharyas, many of the Shaiva acharyas have also spoken in detail about this mantra. Nagalinga Garu, Srikantaradhya, Shripati Panditaradhya, Nandikeshwara Kashika. Many Advaita acharyas also have agreed to this, like Sayanacharya, Kanchi Mahapariva, Paramashivendra Saraswati, Abhinava Shankara, Appaya Dikshita. And also one more acharya named one more personality named Bhattabhaskara has also interpreted this Krishna Pingala as referring to Uma Maheshwara. So keeping this in mind, there are references which I want to show. There are references in the Shastras. Brihajjabala Upanishad says, Hridagam Satyam Kadrudraya Yasya Vakankatiti Cha. So this Hridagam Satyam, what it says is that Brihajjabala Upanishad, Hridagam Satyam mantra should be recited along with Kadrudraya when washing the feet of Mahadeva. Sutta Samhita, 1st canto, 9th chapter, 5th and 6th verse. Hridagam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Sambam Ishwaram Urdhvaretam Virupaksham Hrididyayan Maheshwaram. With a slight modification it is present, but it says Sambam Ishwaram. But it aligns with exactly with the Hridagam Satyam verse in the Upanishads. And again, Sutta Samhita, Hridagam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Krishna Pingalam Urdhvaretam Virupaksham Vishwarupam Namamyaham. Very similar verse that we see in the Upanishads. Sutta Samhita, 2nd canto, 10th chapter, 46th verse. And again, Sutta Samhita, 2nd canto, 19th chapter, 20th verse. Hridagam Satyam Param Brahma Sampam Samsara Peshajam Urdhvaretam Virupaksham Vishwarupam Maheshwaram. Shankara Samhita, Asura Kandam, chapter 6, sloka 46. Hridagam Satyam Param Brahma Purusham Neela Lohitam Urdhvajvalana Retastkam Aprameyam Paratparam. Saura Purana, chapter 45, sloka 58. Satyam Brahma Mahadevam Purusham Krishna Pingalam Urdhvaretasam Ishanam Virupaksham Ajam Dhruvam. Shiva Mahapurana, 7th canto, Vayaviya Samhita, section 2, chapter 6, verse 13. Ambika Patir Ishanaha Pinaki Vrishavahanaha Eko Rudrah Param Brahma Purushaha Krishna Pingalaha. Linga Mahapurana, Canto 2, Chapter 18, Sloka 38. Satyam Brahma Mahadevam Purusham Krishna Pingalam Urdvaretasam Ishanam Virupaksham Achodbhavam. The reason I gave this is that everywhere, even in Mahabharatam and Valmiki Ramayanam, there are references referring this Krishna Pingala to Lord Shiva. Very important point. Many people try to misinterpret this Suktam, but actually, the Suktam actually glorifies Para Shakti and Parama Shiva. Just like Bhagavad Gita is glorifying Parama Shiva, only the Suktam present in the Mahanarayana Upanishad also glorifies Parama Shiva. So why Narayana is mentioned? Because as the meditator, because of his exalted status, he is actually the greatest of Shiva Bhaktas. Among all the Jivatmas, he is the Shrestha and he is the greatest among the Shiva Bhaktas when compared to other living beings like Brahma and Indra. That's what even Bhishma says in the beginning, Ashaktoham Gunan Vaktu Mahadevasya Dhimataha. Why are you asking the glories of Lord Shiva to me? I am not capable of doing that. I am not capable of reciting that. If there is one person who can recite the glories of Mahadeva to some extent, because no one can understand the glories of Mahadeva completely, to some extent if someone can recite, that is this Narayana. And that's why the Narayana Suktam starts off by saying Narayana is the meditator, and who is he meditating on? Para Shakti and Parama Shiva.